Smoke coils into the morning sky from what remains of Lake Town, where once stood a bustling city on stilts, now smolders a ruin. Blackened timbers, charred pilings, and fragments of rooftops drifting like driftwood. Survivors stagger from the water, covered in ash. The lake is still, save for the hissing of cooling dragon flesh. The survivors gather on the shores of the lake. A line of boats drifts in slowly, overloaded with the injured. Bard and his family arrive, along with Luke and the dwarves.
We've won, but at what cost?
This isn't the end, Keely. The dragon is dead, but fire leaves more than ashes behind.
Bard walks towards them.
The people of Lake Town are safe, but we need food, water, and shelter.
Bard glances at the mountain.
We need to go north. The mountain stands open now. My people deserve more than ruin.
I agree, but the future is clouded.
What will you do?
I will speak with Thorin.
Luke joins the dwarves, and they sail off to Erebor. Bard gathers the survivors.
Lake Town is gone, but we are not. We are alive. We stand together, and together we move forward.
Bard and the survivors begin their journey towards the mountain. Back at the remains of Lake Town, a small pack of orcs are sailing through the wreckage, searching for something. Luke and the dwarves arrive at the lonely mountain, where they are confronted by Bilbo.
You need to leave. We all do. It's Thorin. There's a sickness in this place. It's changing him.
Dragon sickness.
Philly notices Thorin, and the group rushes to meet him. Thorin is pacing back and forth. He then looks at the group. At first he smiles, but that smile quickly turns to a look of anger when he notices Luke.
You brought him.
Of course we did. He fought beside us.
Why is he still here, among dwarves, in our mountain?
I came to see this journey through. I seek no gold, only peace. The people of Lake Town need your help.
Thorin ignores Luke.
The Arkenstone. It must be found. All of you. We need to find it.
Luke and the dwarves are shocked how far Thorin has gone. However, they carry out Thorin's order and begin looking for the Arkenstone. Bard leads the survivors of Lake Town to the remains of Dale. There, they start fires and take shelter. A small pack of orcs return to Dol Guldur, where they are confronted by Azog.
Nuzdar Numish.
The orc hands him a lightsaber hilt, while carrying a black arrow in the other hand. At the lonely mountain, the dwarves are relentlessly searching for the Arkenstone. They search for hours, but are unsuccessful. This angers Thorin.
Double your search. The Arkenstone is in these halls.
As Luke is searching, he finds something far more precious than gold. Bilbo is pacing back and forth. He is worried for Thorin. He pulls out the Arkenstone and ponders if he should give it to him. He remembers what Smaug told him.
If only to see Oaken Shield suffer. Watch it destroy him. Watch it corrupt his heart. Drive him mad.
All right, here we are. Just as you requested.
This is the final piece.
Luke grabs the newly constructed lightsaber hilt and inserts the blue crystal inside.
Such a beauty it is.
Indeed.
At night, Thorin orders the dwarves to barricade the entrance to Erebor.
I want this fortress made safe by sunup.
The people of Lake Town have nothing. They came to us in need.
They have much to be grateful for. Those who live through Dragonfire should rejoice.
Luke knows there is no point in arguing with Thorin and begins to walk out of the entrance.
Where are you going?
No, Luke.
Leave him. Let him join his people.
Back at Dol Guldur, a huge explosion of red light emerges from the fortress. Gandalf is visibly concerned by this. Inside the fortress, Azog is thrown to the ground, caught off guard by what had just happened. Emerging from the dust is a red crystal. The necromancer then reappears before Azog. Azog knows what he must do. As Gandalf remains a prisoner, he notices a huge army of orcs leaving Dol Guldur. The army is great in number. Gandalf knows this army is headed for one place, Erebor. Back at Dale, Bard and Luke reunite.
What news from Thorin? Will he honor his word?
I'm afraid not. That gold in that mountain is corrupting him. He is not the same dwarf I met at Bag End.
So what are we to do? I will not let these people suffer.
Before Luke can respond, something catches his attention.
It appears we have company.
Bard turns around, only to find an army of elves surrounding him. King Thranduil then arrives.
King Thranduil, I did not expect to be in your presence today.
I heard you needed aid.
Horses carrying wagons of food and water enter the city. The people of Lake Town are relieved that they now have food and water.
You have saved us. I do not know how to thank you.
I did not come on your behalf. I came to reclaim something of mine.
He will not let you have it. The gold has plagued his mind.
I know who you are. Rumors spread of a man wielding a sword of light. I assume you're the one who slayed the beast.
At Dol Guldur, Gandalf is being tortured by an orc. But before the orc can finish him, Galadriel appears. She quickly takes care of the orc. As she is carrying Gandalf through the fortress, an evil voice can be heard.
For mortal men doomed to die.
All of a sudden, 9 dark spirits form around her. Before they can attack, Lord Elrond appears. And to his right, Saruman the White.
Are you in need of assistance, my lady?
Without hesitation, they attack the Nazgul. Several Nazgul rush Elrond. He ducks and counters with his sword. Other wraiths lunge at Saruman, but he raises his staff, sending the spirits flying. The fight is intense, neither side showing any sign of fatigue. As this is going on, Radagast appears and rescues Gandalf. The fight continues until eventually all of the Nazgul disappear. The fortress is silent. The fight seems finished. All of a sudden, a loud screeching sound is heard. Then Sauron appears before them. Galadriel stands up, but she is different this time. Galadriel banishes Sauron and the Nazgul to Mordor. Back at Dale, King Thranduil's army is stationed outside the city's perimeter.
You would go to war over a handful of gems.
The heirlooms of my people are not lightly forsaken.
King Thranduil, this decision is unwise.
This matter does not concern you.
Please, let us speak with Thorin.
You would try to reason with the dwarf. Very well.
Luke and Bard arrive at the Lonely Mountain. Thorin is alerted of their presence and goes to the entrance.
Why do you come to the king under the mountain armed for war?
Why does the king under the mountain fence himself in, like a robber in his hole?
Perhaps it is because I am expecting to be robbed.
We have not come to rob you, but to seek fair settlement. Will you not speak with us?
I will only speak with you, and not this Jedi filth.
Luke nods at Bard. Thorin and Bard meet at level ground.
I am listening.
I only ask that you honor your word. Give the people of Lake Town a chance to rebuild.
I will not treat with any man while an armed host lies before my door.
That armed host will attack this mountain if we do not come to terms. Does your word mean nothing to you?
Thorin freezes for a moment.
My word, I owe you nothing. The treasure of Erebor belongs to the House of Durin.
Luke calmly steps forward.
Thorin, I sense your pain, but this horde has poisoned your heart. This path leads only to ruin.
You speak as though you understand dwarves. What do you know of reclaiming a kingdom?
The conversation goes silent. Thorin turns his back to Bard and Luke and begins to walk away.
Begone, both of you.
Bard angrily returns to his horse along with Luke, and they ride back to Dale.
I do not understand why he would risk war.
There is always hope for those who fall away.
Back at Erebor, the dwarves are preparing for war. Thorin stands in the center of the room with something in his hands.
Master Baggins.
Bilbo approaches cautiously.
What is it?
Mithril, a gift for a friend. True friends are hard to come by.
Thorin aggressively pushes Bilbo aside.
One of them has taken it. One of them is false.
Thorin, the quest is fulfilled. Is this treasure worth more than your honor?
I will not part with a single coin, not one piece of it.
Bilbo stares on. At night, Bard and Luke try to persuade King Thranduil to not attack the dwarves.
Please give him more time. We cannot go to war.
I will not delay this anymore. We attack at dawn.
I will not let you do that.
Luke ignites his newly crafted lightsaber and points it at King Thranduil. All that can be heard is the humming emitting from the blue lightsaber.
Your compassion for the dwarves is admirable.
There is no need for bloodshed.
From out of the shadow, Gandalf appears. Luke deactivates his lightsaber.
What took you so long?
There's no time to discuss that right now. An army of orcs is heading towards this mountain.
This orc army you speak of, where are they now?
Back at Erebor, Bilbo is shown leaving the mountain.
You cannot go to war over the treasure in the mountain.
It will not come to that. This is a fight they cannot win.
That won't stop them. They will fight to the death to defend their own.
Bilbo Baggins.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the halfling who stole the keys of my dungeons under the nose of my guards.
Bilbo doesn't say a word.
I came here to give you this.
Bilbo reaches into his pocket and reveals the Arkenstone. Everyone in the room is surprised by this.
How is this yours to give?
I took it as my 14th share. Thorin values this more than anything. For this in return, I believe he will give you what you want. There will be no need for war.
Later that night, Bilbo is approached by Luke.
I am impressed you were able to retrieve the Arkenstone without Thorin noticing.
Well, I was hired to be a burglar.
Luke smiles. He then looks down at Bilbo's pocket.
You carry something. It has a great weight.
Bilbo nervously chuckles.
Well, I best be off to bed.
Sleep well, my fellow hobbit.
Bilbo walks away.
Something troubles you, my friend?
Luke turns to Gandalf.
I fear for the lives of the dwarves. Thorin has gone mad.
Dragon sickness is not something to be taken lightly.
Gandalf looks down at Luke's belt.
I see you have constructed a new lightsaber. May I see it?
Luke hands Gandalf his lightsaber. Gandalf stares at the blue blade.
If a weapon of this power were to fall into the hands of the enemy, they could do terrible things.
Let's hope that never happens.
The next morning, Thranduil's army is stationed outside the entrance of Erebor. Thorin, along with Bilbo and the dwarves, are stationed at the entrance of the mountain. King Thranduil, along with Bard and Luke, make their way to the front of the lines. Before they advance any further, Thorin fires an arrow at the foot of King Thranduil.
I will put the next one between your eyes.
With the wave of his hand, King Thranduil's army draws their bows.
We have come to tell you, payment of your debt has been offered and accepted.
What payment? We gave you nothing. You have nothing.
We have this.
Bard reaches into his pocket and reveals the Arkenstone. Thorin and the dwarves are in shock.
They have the Arkenstone. Thieves.
The king may have it, but first he must honor his word.
They are taking us for fools. The Arkenstone is in this mountain. It's a filthy lie.
It's not fake. I gave it to them.
You.
Thorin slowly turns to Bilbo with anger in his eyes.
I was going to give it to you, but you've changed Thorin. The dwarf I met at Bagand would have never doubted the loyalty of his kin.
Do not speak to me of loyalty. Throw him from the rampart.
The dwarves don't move.
Did you not hear me?
Luke dismounts from his horse.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Thorin lunges at Bilbo.
Enough!
Before he can lay a hand on Bilbo, Luke uses the Force to freeze Thorin. Bilbo manages to escape. Luke releases Thorin.
You're not making yourself a splendid figure as king under the mountain, are you?
Never again will I have dealings with Jedi or Shire rats.
What of our deal? Will you have peace or war?
Before Thorin answers, a raven lands in front of him. Gandalf knows what this means.
I will have war.
A thunderous sound can be heard echoing through the valley. From the horizon, a huge army of dwarves approaches. King Thranduil orders his army to advance towards the approaching dwarves. Luke, Bard, Bilbo, and Gandalf also make their way towards the dwarf army. Emerging from the dwarf army is Dane.
I have a wee proposition, if you wouldn't mind giving me a few moments of your time. Would you consider just shutting off? All of you!
There is no need for war. An army of orcs march upon the mountain. Stand your army down.
Before Dane can respond, a tremoring sound can be heard in the distance. This grabs everyone's attention. Emerging from a nearby mountain are several enormous worm-like creatures.
Wereworms.
More! I see!
Azog is here. From the giant tunnels, hundreds of battle-ready orcs come running out. The huge army of orcs charge the mountain. A smaller army of orcs head towards Dale.
Azog's targeting the people of Lake Town.
No, we must stop them.
All of you fall back to Dale!
Bilbo, Luke, and Gandalf join Bard and the men of Lake Town. The dwarves get into defensive position. The orcs advance closer and closer.
I'm going over the wall. Who's coming with me?
Stand down.
Thorin.
I said stand down.
The orcs are about to strike. Before they do, several elves leap over the dwarves and attack the orcs. The dwarves aid the elves and the battle begins. The numbers of the orcs are overwhelming, but the skills of the elves make up for it, cutting down orc by orc with ease. The dwarves show great strength as they use several military tactics to take down the orcs. The battle is fierce and intense. Luke and the others arrive at Dale. Bard orders a group of men to gather the women and children and to put them in the great halls.
Here they come.
Luke ignites his blue lightsaber. The orcs arrive at the city and take down a part of the Great Wall. They then swarm the city. Gandalf uses his staff to break down part of the wall, crushing several orcs. Luke throws his lightsaber at the orcs, decapitating many of them. Bard and the men of Lake Town charge the incoming orcs. With the help of Luke, the orcs stand no chance of advancing into the city. Everything seems to be going well for the people of Lake Town. Azog notices Luke's cunning abilities. This angers him. A small group of orcs are shown kidnapping a group of villagers. Luke catches on to this, but is slowed down by several orcs, which he takes care of with ease. The group of orcs with the villagers leave the city and head towards one of the tunnels. Luke mounts his horse and follows them. Back at the battlefield, both sides are fighting relentlessly. No side appears to have the upper hand. Giant war beasts bred for war arrive at the battlefield. Their arrival creates a turning point in the battle in favor of the orcs. The dwarves and elves are losing. Without the help of Luke, the orcs manage to push back Bard and the men of Lake Town.
Fall back!
At Erebor, Thorin sits on his throne, compiling his next move. Dwalin approaches.
Thorin, they are dying out there.
Many die in war. Life is cheap.
You sit here in these vast halls with a crown upon your head, and yet you are lesser now than you have ever been.
Get out before I kill you.
Dwalin leaves. Luke enters the tunnel, lightsaber ignited. He follows the screams of the villagers. As Luke gets deeper and deeper into the tunnel, the villagers' cries fade away. Luke senses something and deactivates his lightsaber. At a moment, it is totally silent. Several large, war-bred beasts fall from above and surround Luke. Luke swings his lightsaber at one of the beasts, but it has little effect on him. The beasts swing their axes and chained stones at Luke, but he dodges them. Luke force jumps over one of the beasts and drives his lightsaber into its skull, killing it. Out of nowhere, another beast swings its club at Luke, knocking his lightsaber out of his hand. Luke falls to the ground, weaponless. Luke, with no other options, uses beast control to turn one of the beasts against the other. They kill each other. Luke is then blindsided by several orcs, which he uses the Force to push back. Luke summons his blue lightsaber and finishes the orcs. Luke hears the cries of the villagers again. He rushes to them, finding them bound by chains. He uses the Force to set them free.
Everything will be all right. You're safe now.
At the battlefield, King Thranduil orders his remaining elves to go to the city to aid the people of Lake Town. This leaves the dwarves alone. Lord Dane and his dwarves do their best to take on the barrage of orcs. The dwarves' numbers get thinner and thinner. Their time is almost up. At Dale, the arrival of King Thranduil and his elves gives Bard and the men of Lake Town the aid they needed. The fight for Dale is evenly matched. Luke senses the dwarves are in great danger. He knows the only way they can win is if Thorin joins the battle and rallies the dwarves. Luke sits down and begins to meditate. Inside, Erebor is completely silent. Thorin sits on his throne. Voices enter Thorin's mind.
Sickness lies upon that
Thorin stands up. He sees visions.
Sickness will kill your grandfather Matthew. Son of a flame.
No!
Luke's meditation intensifies. The voices and visions get stronger. Thorin is in pain. Luke knows if he pushes Thorin any further, it might kill him. He has no choice. Thorin throws his crown. The dwarves fall back to the mountain. They are surrounded. The orcs advance closer and closer.
I will not stay here any longer.
Thorin comes forth. The dwarves turn to him.
I have no right to ask this of any of you. But will you follow me one last time?
The dwarves stand up. The dwarves are preparing for the final assault. The orcs are ready, waiting for Azog's command. Several war beasts go to the front of the line. The orcs charge. A loud dwarvish horn erupts from the mountain. This brings the orcs to a complete stop. Bilbo and Gandalf notice this. It then goes silent. Running from the mountain is Thorin and the 12 other dwarves. They have been waiting for this moment. Thorin and the others make their way to the front lines.
To the king!
The remaining dwarf army follows Thorin, and they charge at the orcs. The battle is fierce. The moral boost from Thorin's arrival gives the dwarves the upper hand. The dwarves are pushing the orcs back. They are winning. At Dale, Bard and the men of Lake Town, along with King Thranduil and his elves, are struggling.
There are just too many of them.
Bard is surrounded by orcs waiting to strike him. Out of nowhere, several arrows fly past Bard and kill the orcs surrounding him. It is Legolas and Tauriel. They arrive with a smaller army of elves.
I do not know how to thank you.
The battle isn't finished yet.
With the aid of the smaller elf army, the battle for Dale goes into the favor of the people of Lake Town. The orcs are being pushed back. At Erebor, Thorin and Dane reunite.
There's too many of these buggers, Thorin. I hope you've got a plan.
Aye. We're going to take out their leader.
Azog.
Thorin mounts a huge goat.
I'm gonna kill that piece of filth.
Bilbo notices Thorin and the 3 other dwarves riding to Raven Hill.
It's Thorin.
And Dwalin and Fili and Keely. He's taking his best warriors.
To do what?
To cut the head off the snake.
Thorin and the others arrive at Azog's command station. It is totally empty.
I think Azog has fled.
I don't think so. Fili, take your brother. Scout out the towers. If you see something, report back. Do not engage.
Fili and Keely go to search the towers. At Dale, Gandalf and Bilbo manage to take out several orcs in their vicinity. Legolas and Tauriel arrive and clean up the remaining orcs around them.
Legolas.
It's good to see you, Gandalf.
All of a sudden, a sled can be heard coming towards them.
Gandalf!
It is Radagast.
Radagast.
There is a second army. Bolg leads a force of Gundabad orcs. They are almost upon us.
This was their plan all along. Azog engages our forces, then Bolg sweeps in from the north.
Where is the north?
Ravenhill.
Ravenhill. Thorin is up there, and Fili and Kili. They're all up there.
While Thorin and Dwalin are searching for Azog, a group of goblins attack them. Thorin and Dwalin hold their own, taking out many of them. Fili and Kili continue to search the towers. They find nothing.
They must be warned.
I'll go.
Don't be ridiculous, you'll never make it.
Why not?
Because they will see you and kill you.
They won't see me.
It's out of the question.
I'm not asking you to allow it.
Fili and Kili continue to search the tower.
There's no sign of him.
All of a sudden, several drums can be heard, along with goblin screams. Halls in the tower start to lighten.
Run!
Fili and Kili run through the fortress. The drums get louder and louder. They enter a large room where they barricade the door. The goblins and orcs arrive, banging on the fortified door. Fili and Kili are ready, though their odds are not in their favor. The orcs stop their assault.
Why'd they stop?
Orc and goblin cries can be heard. Thorin and Dwalin finish off the remaining goblins in their vicinity. A humming sound can be heard from afar, along with orc cries. Thorin and Dwalin notice this. Orcs start flying out of one of the towers. One of them lands right in front of Thorin.
What in Durin's name is going on?
The orc and goblin cries grow louder and louder. The orcs are scared and start to run away. It is Luke. He uses a combination of his lightsaber skills and his ability with the Force to easily take out the orcs and goblins. They are no match for him. Luke finishes off the last orcs in the tower. Fili and Kili stand behind the barricaded door. All at once, the door is flown back. A humming sound can be heard along with a blue light visible through the dust.
Greetings, my fellow dwarves.
You saved us, Luke. We do not know how to thank you.
The battle isn't finished yet. Come. I sense Thorin and the others need our help.
Kili and Fili join Luke. Thorin and Dwalin continue to search for Azog. Out of nowhere, several orcs ambush them. They engage the orcs head-on. Bolg is here. A greater number of orcs arrive. Their odds are not in their favor. All of a sudden, arrows start flying towards the incoming orcs, killing many of them. It is Legolas and Toriel. They aid Thorin and Dwalin by taking on the orcs.
We can handle this. Go find Azog.
Thorin agrees and splits from the group. Bolg approaches and takes Legolas head-on. Toriel and Dwalin continue to fight the orcs. From above, several trolls enter the scene. Toriel uses her bow to try to take down the trolls, but it has little effect. The trolls press on. Suddenly, a lightsaber is hurled at the troll, decapitating it. It is Luke along with Fili and Kili. They charge the approaching orcs. They clash with the orcs, killing many of them. Luke senses a disturbance. Luke notices Thorin is missing. He leaves the battle and runs to find him. Thorin continues to search the area for Azog. A group of orcs charge him, which he quickly takes care of. Then in the distance, he sees Azog. Thorin charges at Azog. Azog meets him head-on. Their weapons clash, each strike more and more intense. They have both been waiting for this moment. Legolas and Bolg continue their fight. Their weapons strike each other. Legolas is quick, but Bolg is strong. Their fight goes on. Luke is running through the icy field, where he is met with several orcs, which he quickly takes care of. He senses something behind him and uses the Force to push it back. However, it is not an orc, it is Bilbo. He is pushed against a wall, and a ring falls off his finger and lands in front of Luke. Luke stares at it intensely. He then looks at Bilbo. Bilbo doesn't say a word. Luke runs off, leaving the ring in the snow. Thorin and Azog's fight gets more intense. Azog swings his heavy sword at Thorin, but he dodges it. Thorin cuts part of Azog's leg and uses his shield to block his counterattack. Thorin is winning. He continues to block all of Azog's attacks. Thorin charges at Azog with his shield, knocking his sword out of his hand. Azog has had enough. He ignites a red lightsaber. Thorin knows what this means.
More weapons tell you.
He throws his shield at Azog, but he cuts it in half. Azog charges at Thorin. Thorin barely dodges the lightsaber attacks. Luke arrives to the scene and sees Thorin battling Azog. Thorin continues to dodge Azog's attack. Azog then kicks Thorin, sliding him back on the ice.
Thorin!
Thorin ignites Luke's blue lightsaber. The battle is on. Luke is then attacked by a group of orcs. Weaponless, he uses the Force to grab one of their swords and fights the orcs. Bolg and Legolas continue their fight. Suddenly, they both stop as eagles are shown flying above them. Bolg growls. The eagles swoop in, taking on the warbats and the remaining second army of Gundabad. Beorn is riding on an eagle and jumps off, transforming into his beast form. Kills many orcs. While Legolas is distracted, Bolg swings his club at him, knocking his sword out of his hand. Before Bolg can strike again, he is struck in the hand by an arrow. It is Tauriel. She joins in with Legolas and they take on Bolg together. Although it is 2 against 1, Bolg holds his own. From behind, Fili and Kili cut Bolg in the back, severely injuring him. Bolg is surrounded. He is able to stop several of their attacks, but 4 against 1 is too much for him. Kili drives his sword into Bolg's chest, ending his life. Lightsabers clash. Thorin and Azog's fight gets more intense. The air hissed and burned with every near miss. Sparks explode as saber meets saber. Thorin and Azog lock blades. Thorin cuts part of Azog's leg, burning it. Azog falls on his knee. Thorin goes for the final blow, but Azog is ready for it. Azog cuts off Thorin's hand that was holding the lightsaber. The lightsaber slides on the ice. Thorin grabs his wound. Azog stands up laughing.
More weapons tell you.
Azog goes for the final strike. Thorin knows this is the end. A blue lightsaber pierces through Azog's chest. It is Bilbo. Azog uses his arm to knock Bilbo back. The lightsaber falls on the ground. Azog, extremely wounded, manages to walk to Bilbo. He is about to strike. Thorin cuts off Azog's head. The remaining orc troops flee the scene. The battle is over. Gandalf arrives at the scene. They all smile at each other and start to laugh. At night, a huge feast is held in Erebor. The halls of Erebor are brightly lit, filled with elves, dwarves, and people of Lake Town. The dwarves sit around a huge table, feasting on food. Thorin sits at the end of the table. They are accompanied by Bilbo, Luke, Gandalf, Bard, and King Thranduil. Thorin stands up.
This is to the people of Lake Town, to the elves who came in our need, to our burglar, our Jedi, and our wizard, and at last, to my kin.
Everyone cheers. Later that night, everyone gathers in the halls of Erebor. There, Thorin gives King Thranduil and his elves the white gems they desired.
Words cannot express our gratitude. If you ever need our aid again, we will come.
Huge wagons of gold are carted off for the people of Lake Town.
We can finally rebuild and have our lives back.
Thorin walks over to where Luke and Bilbo are.
I am very grateful for you two. Without you, this wouldn't be possible.
It's the least we can do.
Don't mention it.
Later that night, all the dwarves, along with Bilbo, Luke, and Gandalf, gather in the throne of Erebor.
Far over the misty mountains cold, 2 dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day to find our long forgotten gold. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night. The fire was red, it flaming spread, the trees like torches blazed with light.
The next morning, Bilbo, Luke, and Gandalf prepare to leave Erebor. Thorin and the other dwarves stand at the entrance.
We can never repay you for what you did for us. You stuck with us along this journey, even when all hope seemed lost. We are forever in your debt.
There is always hope for those who believe, no matter how big the task at hand is.
Bilbo steps forward.
If any of you are passing Bag End, you are welcome anytime. There'll be food, and don't even bother knocking.
The dwarves laugh.
Farewell, the company of Thorin Oakenshield. May the Force be with you.
Thorin and the others nod their heads.
May the Force be with you.
Bilbo, Luke, and Gandalf head to their horses and ride off. They ride west towards the land of the Shire, crossing many lands. Their journey is long but calm. They arrive in the lands near Bree. There, Luke decides to split from them.
This is where my journey ends.
You're welcome. Anytime, Luke. Don't be afraid to stop by.
Of course.
Luke reaches into his bag.
I have a gift for you.
Luke hands Bilbo a small lightsaber hilt.
What is it?
Turn it on.
Bilbo ignites a yellow lightsaber.
I can't take this. This weapon is too much for me. I don't think I can handle it.
And I hope you never have to.
Wouldn't you think a wizard could use such a weapon?
Luke laughs.
I could only salvage one.
Luke looks at Bilbo's pocket.
Gandalf, can I speak with you alone?
Of course.
Luke and Gandalf separate from Bilbo.
What is it?
He carries something dark and powerful. Can you keep an eye on him?
2 eyes, not to worry. There are many magic rings in Middle-earth.
Luke nods.
I'm going north now. May the Force be with you.
Stay out of trouble. I may need you again someday.
Luke smiles and rides off. Gandalf then joins Bilbo.
What was that about?
He wanted to know when my next fireworks show was.
Bilbo smiles and they ride off to the Shire. There, Gandalf farewells Bilbo. Bilbo returns to Bag End. Inside, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the one ring. He stares at it intensely. He then looks at the lightsaber Luke gifted him. He turns it on. It would not be ignited again for a long time, until